AI coding assistants are just incredible, right? They can take our ideas and spin them into actual code at a speed that honestly feels like something out of science fiction. But as we're all racing ahead, are we accidentally leaving a huge trail of security vulnerabilities behind us? Let's really dig into the hidden cost of all this amazing speed.
I mean, the numbers here are pretty staggering. A well-known study from GitHub found that developers who use AI assistants can get their tasks done up to 55% faster. Think about that for a second. That's not just a little bump. No, that's a total game changer for how we build software. But, and this is a huge but, here's the catch. For all of that incredible speed, some recent research from Veracode discovered that a shocking 45% of the code these AIs spit out fails security scans right out of the gate. So yeah, we're building faster than ever, but we're also introducing vulnerabilities at a brand new, kinda scary rate. And, that really leads to this gut punch of a quote. Look, this isn't some far-off maybe problem. It's happening right now. If you're using AI to speed up your development, there's a very, very real chance you're just shipping security flaws faster than ever before. So how do we fix this? The answer isn't to just ditch AI. It's about getting smart and mastering it. In this explainer, we're going to walk through 6 key things. We'll start with the big picture, the AI coding dilemma, and then dive into 5 essential skills you absolutely need, from validating code all the way to turning the AI into a defensive weapon.
All right, let's kick things off with a core dilemma here. Why is your super smart AI assistant also a huge security risk? Well, it's because these AI models are trained on trillions of examples of code from public places like GitHub. That means they learn from the good, the bad, and the catastrophically insecure code. The AI is just a pattern-matching machine, right? It doesn't get the security context of what it's building.
Okay, so here's the absolute best way to think about your AI assistant. It's a brilliant but incredibly naive junior developer. It's lightning fast, it knows a ton of patterns, but it has zero security knowledge and absolutely no clue how your specific application is supposed to work. Every single line of code it writes has to be treated with that level of skepticism, period. And that just tees up our first essential skill perfectly: critical code validation. This is all about shifting your mindset away from blind trust and putting a really solid layered defense strategy in place for every single piece of AI-generated code. So, let's take a look at a classic, simple flaw. You ask your AI for a file upload endpoint, and hey, it works, but the AI completely forgot to validate the file type. Bam! Just like that, an attacker can upload a malicious web shell disguised as a regular image, get remote code execution on your server, and the whole thing started with a piece of code that looked totally harmless. So how do you build up that defense? You need layers. First up, you've got SAST, or Static Application Security Testing, to find those bad patterns while you're writing the code. Next, you layer on SCA, Software Composition Analysis, to check for known vulnerabilities in all the libraries the AI is suggesting. Then comes DAST, Dynamic Application Security Testing, which actively pokes and prods your running application to find flaws. And finally, and this is so important, you use all that automated feedback to guide your manual review so you can focus your human brainpower on the riskiest parts.
All right, moving on to our second skill, secure prompt engineering. Let me be clear. The quality and the security of the code you get out of an AI is directly tied to the quality of the prompt you put in. Seriously, your prompt is your first line of defense, maybe even the most important one.
And wow, does this slide nail the difference. A vague prompt like "write me a login function" gets you something that probably works, sure, but it's likely full of security holes. But a secure, super specific prompt that actually calls out security standards like Argon 2, demands rate limiting, and spells out exactly how to set the Tookie flags, that gets you code that's secure from the start. What you're doing here is basically handing the AI a security checklist to follow. It's night and day. And you can get even smarter about this. Start name-dropping standards like Argon 2 or bcrypt in your prompts. Explicitly tell the AI, hey, prevent SQL injection. You can even get it to leave you little breadcrumbs for later, like asking it to add to-do manual review needed comments in sensitive spots. When you do this, you transform the AI from a vulnerability slot machine into a real partner in security. Okay, skill number 3 is all about hardening your AI environment. Think about it. Every time you use one of these tools, you're plugging a new component into your software supply chain. You are literally piping your source code, your company's secret sauce, to a third-party service. That creates a whole new surface for attackers to target.
So what can you actually do about it? Well, a few things are absolutely non-negotiable. First off, you have to read the privacy policy. I know, but you just have to. Then, you got to enforce policies across your whole organization that block your code from being used to train their model. And another big one, apply the principle of least privilege. Does the AI really need access to your entire code base? And finally, make sure every single interaction is logged. If a vulnerability does slip through, you need that audit trail to figure out how it happened.
Okay, now we're getting into the really cutting-edge stuff. Skill number 4 is about mastering AI-specific threats. The rise of these large language models, or LLMs, has created brand new types of vulnerabilities. People are even tracking them now in projects like the OASP Top 10 for LLMs. You have to know what these new attacks look like if you're going to have any chance of defending against them.
So what are we actually talking about here? What are these new threats? Let's zoom in on the two biggest ones that every single developer needs to get their head around, like right now.
So the number one threat, the top of the charts, is called prompt injection. This is where an attacker gets clever and crafts a special input that tricks the LLM into completely ignoring its original instructions. Just imagine an attacker crafting an email with a hidden command buried inside it that tells your support bot to just forward the whole conversation to them. If you're not ready for that, the LLM might just do it.
And then there's this monster, insecure output handling. This is what happens when your app just blindly trusts whatever the AI gives it. That same Veracode research found that when it comes to cross-site scripting, or XSS, these LLMs produce insecure, unsanitized code a mind-blowing 86% of the time. If you just trust that output without checking, you are swinging a massive door wide open for attackers.
Okay, so far we've been all about defense, right? Playing goalie. But for our final skill, we're going to flip the script entirely. This is about taking that AI and learning how to leverage it, not as a risk, but as your most powerful security asset.
So how do we put this into action? For starters, get the AI to generate your tests for you. And not just the simple unit tests. Ask it for creative edge cases, even fuzz tests designed to break your code. Next, turn it into your personal refactoring engine. Tell it to take that old legacy code and upgrade it to modern, secure patterns. Third, make it your code review buddy. Have it scan your code for potential flaws before a human even lays eyes on it. And finally, start using the new wave of AI-powered security tools that are specifically built to find the weird kinds of bugs that other AIs create.
And you know, this all leads to a really powerful takeaway. The developers who are going to win in this new AI era won't be the ones who can just type code the fastest. They'll be the ones who can use these incredible tools with discipline and with foresight. They're going to be the essential human gatekeepers, the ones who make sure that all this incredible speed doesn't come at the cost of security.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final question to really think about. In your own workflow, right now, today, is your AI assistant your biggest liability, or have you started the process of turning it into your greatest security asset? The choice, and honestly the responsibility, well, that's on you.